So, good morning, and I wish you all are enjoying the beautiful upcoming spring of Asia in Bangladesh. And I think today I'll take this moment to talk about Ukraine war as an international issues enthusiast. I used to read about displacement, forced migration, war, famine, and epidemic around the world for last 22 years from when I was a student of class 9, means ninth grade in Bangladesh. To understand Ukraine war, as I used my own understanding to understand the conflict in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine, I think the main problem lies in the mindset of the colonial powers, the dictators. I think this is not a different case. If we refer to the colonial mindset of Arabs who fought against many regimes, many kings and rulers around the world during the expansion of Islamic empire, be it in Spain by Tariq bin Ziyad, be it in India by Muhammad bin Qasim and the other fighting generals. So all the dictators around the world, from Alexander to this date, they have a common mindset and understanding that this land belongs to me. The land I am aggressing, this piece of land belongs to me. This is my land. And they will bring some references, like when Alexander was expanding his territories, he presented the theory of civilization, that the East and the other directions should be civilized with the Greek civilization. So means we all are barbarians and Greeks are the civilized people. So we need re-education. We need to be civilized. So in the name of civilization, he expanded his territories and he killed thousands of human beings. Innocent men and women, children. The same thing goes with the expansion of Islamic Khilafah. The Islamic fighters, the generals, the aggressors, they have the same thing, but in a new form. The theological form of expansion and brutal terrorism, colonialism, that I am gonna driven by the principle of dawah. I am a da'i ilallah. I am expanding the dawah. And they used some Quranic verses like Balligu anni walau ayah. If you know a single sentence of Quran and Hadith and the lifestyles of Muhammad, you are gonna spread it everywhere you go. You bring it. You are a da'i. Then in the name of dawah, in the name of expanding the message of God, Allah, they killed thousands of people, innocent men and women, and they terrified them. They brought the lands under Islamic Empire or Islamic Khilafat. Now you come to the the Christian expansion during somewhere in the history like Crusades. They used another term, but the same methodology, that we are going to halt your peace. We are gonna stop you sleeping. We are gonna invade your country because we want to establish peace in the name of Jesus, in the name of Christ. We are gonna give you peace in exchange of this war. If you become a Christian, be sure that you will be in a peaceful life, in a peaceful country. So let us invade you. Let us kill you in the name of Christ and Jesus. And the same thing happened to Hitler. In the name of German blood, in the name of killing Jewish people, in the name of eliminating unhappiness and disturbance from the world, by eliminating the Jewish people, although they are not like that, they are also human beings, they have all human rights to live and cherish and flourish in the world, but he took the path of destruction, elimination, ruination, and brutal war against humanity. The same thing happened to America when they landed in the lands of, in the hills and hillocks and valleys of Afghanistan, that they spread the same message, but in a new form, in a new term, to establish democracy for the people. Now we use democracy in Afghanistan. Women are not allowed to go to school and colleges and universities. Women are not allowed to speak. Women are not allowed to study. Women are not allowed to work. Women are not allowed to buy. Women are not allowed to sell. Women are not allowed to even dress the way they want. This is the price of establishing democracy in the name of expansion and colonialism. And also they invaded Iraq. They destroyed the civilization. They invaded Libya. They destroyed their peace. And ISIS or ISIL or Islamic State, the same thing, but in the name of Khilafat. They destroyed the civilization of Syria, dated back thousands of years. So the summary is all the dictators, all the invaders, all the aggressors, like the Pakistani rulers who destroyed our peace, our lands, our properties during the Liberation War in 1971. The same colonial mindset. Operation Searchlight. They were searching our women to destroy their chastity and sanctity. And they destroyed a nation. But fortunately, we are very strong under the leadership of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. We come out with a wonderful solution. The solution of standing on our own feet with greater strength under the leadership of Sheikh Hasina. And now we are a nation performing so well around the world. Now the point is, Russia used the same famous method and term of the dictators, and that is that Ukraine belongs to us. Why Ukraine is important for Russia? If we understand it, then we can understand why the war is happening. The issue is about domination in the Sea of Azov and in the Black Seas. If Russia can control Ukraine, they can control the Sea of Azov, and also they will get a greater control and a greater impact in the high seas of Black Sea. And they will also get some kind of superiority in the Black Sea based trades and commerce. So there is no question of morality, there is no question of patriotism, there is no question of protecting human rights and the rights of the people, but it's all about trade, business, and colonialism, colonial mindset. The way they imposed an ethical aggression on Georgia in some years back. And also they interfered a lot in Kyrgyzstan and in the fight of Armenia, where they lost a big territory, and also in Syria, where they supported Syrian regime under the leadership of dictator Bashar al-Assad. So one can come to conclusion that Russia is depicting the mindset of dictators. But the problem is, it's not a singular person who is the dictator. I am confused and I have serious doubt that the entire nation is supporting Russia, which is very catastrophic, although we have a sign that more than 500,000 people live after the proclamation of so-called special operation in Ukraine. So it's also true that there are people who support the free world, the democracy, expression of the people of Ukraine. Now Russia has a reason to invade Ukraine, but what are the problems from Ukraine's side? To me, if we can have a simplified evaluation, that Ukraine did no mistake by claiming their rights, their territorial integrity, their sovereignty, their freedom of movement inside their lands. It's not a crime, it's their basic human rights. It's a custom. And independence and sovereignty and territorial integrity is a basic and fundamental, a radical consideration of world order. But I think, if possible, if Ukraine can take more technical and diplomatic way to solve the issue with Russia, I think they can come out with more resilient solution of the problem. Because it's not about of being naive It's about of being calculative about the territorial integrity, the sovereignty of my own people and own land. So Ukraine can enjoy the opportunistic position by using the way of dialogue and democratic participation of all the parties to resolve this problem. But it's also true that we must consider the aggressive mindset of Russia, and we cannot give Russia a blank check. We cannot give Russia a check without any condemnation. We must condemn the Russia's mindset. The Russian Federation is clearly violating international agreed world order. We must not have any doubt regarding this. But as a small state, Ukraine can take a middle way by not being so lean to Europe, means European Union. When I am taking a position, I have to be very careful. I have to consider and reconsider the position of my country. And to this note, I would refer the diplomacy of non-aligned movement countries during the Soviet-led Warsaw Alliance and US-led NATO alliance era. The NAM leaders, means the leaders of non-aligned movement, they took a middle way during the crisis of Cold War and Cuban Missile Crisis. Like the countries Yugoslavia, India, Bangladesh, and the other countries, they created a third platform, and they told that we are not supporting the either sides because you are mistaken. We cannot establish a world of peace and prosperity if we are dividing ourselves again into two sides. There should be only one side, and that is a broader international understanding and consensus for peace and prosperity and democracy and dialogue and independence and sovereignty, non-interference, and also acknowledging the territorial integrity of the countries. So in this regard, Ukraine can take such kind of neutral middle way so that they can have a chance to reconstruct the nation's economy and the country. It's true that what Russia did with Ukraine regarding Crimea, it's a crime. It's a crime done by Russia. But when I fail to protect one piece of my land, I have to be very careful when I am considering letting the aggressor to occupy the other pieces of lands of my country. I think in that note, Ukrainian leadership failed to observe the situation carefully, and they failed to respond to the situation diplomatically. But the international communities have a responsibility to not support to not support the war between Russia and Ukraine, which is imposed by Russia. And we have a responsibility to stand beside the people of Ukraine. Now, what is the losses of Ukraine? What is the situation in Russia? Ukraine has lost a vast territory, a big portion of their lands. And Russia is not a gainer too. Russia is a loser too, because Russia is losing its war ammunitions, war logistics, human resources, and also has lost international acceptance by imposing the war on Ukraine. But the future direction is really grey, because there is no room we can see for Ukraine to win this war, as the war is between a tiger and a mouse. And also Russia is showing kind of mindset of the colonial terror. And when a big country like Russia imposed a war on a small country like Ukraine, really international community should talk to Russia more and more deeply, and also establish the line of communication between Russia and Ukraine where they can sit and agree and reconsider the situation. Because at the end of the day, we need a world with peace. How many wars can we really bear? And how can we establish a peaceful world when the scars are becoming bigger? In Sudan, in Iraq, in Libya, in Syria, in Eritrea, in Ethiopia, in Somalia, in Mali, in Malawi, everywhere. We are, as a collective humanity, we are failing to observe the importance of peace. We cannot prosper, we cannot establish true happiness if we are in war. And I must take this opportunity to condemn also the aggressive mindset of NATO and European Union, as they are responding to some extent aggressively. So we must not think that we are above mistakes. We have mistakes, but we have to sit and talk and try to find out the solution and resolve the issues. At the end of this discussion, I must wish that the war will end very soon. Ukrainian people will get back their freedom, their independence, and the territorial integrity should be established and respected. Thank you.